according to statistics, email is a very most important, popular activity which is going on. Maybe like if we purchase any items online, or if you pay any invoices, or if you are trying to apply for a job, or if you are doing any type of transactions, emails is the first and very popular activity which is going on currently. So, according to the statistics, through smartphones, or maybe majorly people use 59% of people use email and reading that information. And second, it comes to the news. So that's the reason email is very, very important. So in the overall digital communications, the email is the gravitational center, maybe SMS or maybe some display ads or WhatsApp and all. Of course, WhatsApp is booming now, but email is still in the top regards to the transactional part. So overall, like 5.6 billion emails currently used worldwide, and also like it's uniquely built to reach customers. And whenever business owners invest around $1, they can able to get at least a revenue back like $41 as per the surveys. So why the email remains an important customer channel? Because it's like scalable, because it's reached around like 5.6 billion customers, and the cost is also very, very low. If you are integrating SMS or maybe like WhatsApp for a customer communication channel, it's a bit costlier. So it's a cost effective to convert into like ROI. And it's like everybody knows, like if any transaction happened, they should be able to cross verify with the email whether the things went properly or not, and they will be looking into it for the confirmations and all. And to fill any digital billings or any other stuff, majorly email is very, very important. People are looking into that. So how the email flow actually works, this basically everybody knows, but just going through a glance, like the email, whenever a customer tries to send an email, it will be hitting with the secure HTTPS, it will be hitting to the inbound servers of the particular business, and it will be sent to our data centers, to the email ISP, like to the email service providers data centers, and from there it will be hitting to the customers data centers. For example, exabytes, for example, sending a transaction email. So it will first hit the exabytes inbound data centers, and then it will be hitting to the customers data center, that is like Gmail or maybe like Yahoo. It will be hitting to that particular data center, and the customer will be receiving. If we want to track whether email is open or not, so for that we can from our data center we'll be retrieving the data with that particular opens or clicks based on the request, and based on that input we'll be showing to the end user. So that's how the email flow works whenever a customer is trying to send it out an email from their website or from the business to the end user. So let's talk about the types of emails. Basically, emails are maybe like one particular system to one particular end user. It's not sent like a bulk base. So simple examples, like as I already told, like purchase confirmations or any shipping notifications, or if we do like password reset, or if we want to do any recommendations for the product. So these type of emails are called transactional emails, and basically it is done by the developers, and it's also called as like one-to-one recipient initiated emails. And second one is called a marketing email, which is like sending like newsletters or sending like discount offers or any launch announcement, or if you want to do any nurturing of the campaigns, maybe for the email for the business, like marketing promotions if you're doing that. There are two types, as said. This will be used completely by the marketers. Two personas we are dividing, one for developers and one for marketers. Today we are going to completely go through like what exactly the developers are going to do and how they are going to send out the emails, and what are the best practices they need to follow. This is simple examples for transaction and marketing. So Fitbit, when you purchased any Fitbit watch, you're getting a tracking ID, and as a shipping notification, you're getting an email. This is one of the examples for transactional. And Uber want to make all major people to like get into their rides. So they are sending some promotional email informing about their express pool offers. So these are the two differences. One is for transaction and one for marketing. And this is one more example of password reset. So for the transactional, So basically, these transaction emails are also called as like triggered emails or SMTP emails. So majorly examples like welcome emails, notification, payment receipts, and all. So what the difference is like, all the setups should be done from the business owners. With the developers need to work out on that by integrating some third party or maybe like a cloud-based email infrastructure to send out the emails. So for that, the developers' point is like they need to complete the code integration and all the stuff with the third-party services. Here, whenever the emails are sent out, basically a lot of transaction emails are turning as a dead emails. It's not considered like a revenue generating things. So basically, the transaction emails is a major, very important to the business owners to make sure the customers are viewing the emails. So I'm just going to show how the marketing versus transactional is going to be. So what happens is like whenever a marketers trying to send an email, they just make sure the email is like something like a landing page, which is shown here. And they make sure it's like very clear to the end user, and they have a proper call to action button. And they just showcase like it's very clear to the end user so that people can look into that. The customers, end users are looking into the particular email. But what the developers do mistakes is they just put the text, maybe not like everybody, like so the nowadays like lot of developers, what they're doing is like just putting the text and they don't feel like to showcase it's like a colorful way or maybe like a clear way to the end users. So they just put the text and they just send it out. What happens is it's missing the call to action. What are the major things we need to do to stop this dead transaction emails is we should make sure it's very clear. So whenever you're sending out the welcome emails, maybe like first effect example I'm taking as a welcome emails, whenever you're trying to send out an welcome emails, you should make sure you're trying to explain to the customers that about your basic things about the product. If you have any Android apps or maybe like any iOS apps, you just showcase to the end user. You need to make sure your customers are moving further. Like they need to have some call to action button and they need to understand what they need to do next. In the old example, people are confused like what they need to do next in the email template. Whenever they just see that and they just close it. They never click on any link because they don't know what to do next. So what we need to sort it out is we should make sure our call to action button is very clear. And if we have any information which you want to share to your end users, you need to share that maybe through if there is any apps, we can show as the apps. And if you want to make sure you want to get some email preferences to get, you can provide them as well so that people show interest and click on the links and they will move forward. And if it is like a notification emails, in the notification email, they just say, they will just send out the emails like this. What they send is like just so-and-so, my name is so-and-so, and just follow us like this. So there is no call to action. It's like there is no purpose. There is unclear purpose. So people just read a couple of lines and they close it. So if you see LinkedIn, people in LinkedIn, when they send some notification, it will be very clear, giving the clear context with the image and with some text and showcasing to accept the profile. So the clear context will be provided and direct call to action is there, like accept. And if the end user want to make sure to be very clear what exactly the notification is, they can able to see the profile of the particular customer, whoever maybe is notified. So they can look into that and they can understand whether to accept it or not. So in the notification emails, we should be very clear as well. This is the mistakes people do. We need to correct in this way. And also in the payment receipts. So in the payments receipts, they directly send out, so your payment is successful, your credit card is charged so-and-so with so-and-so amount, just like that. If people want to look into the invoice, if people want to download the invoice or maybe receipt, they don't have the clarity in these particular emails. So we should have the proper design as well here. Maybe if you see the Airbnb, it's very clear, like email receipt, how to print the receipt and pay the receipt. So everything is very clear. So this way, customer will be much more comfortable of understanding how much amount is charged, and whether if he is unclear, he will just click on the email receipt and then go and look into details. And if you want to print, he will print it. If you want to go to the invoices section into the website, they can just click on the section and they can just move it. in the view history. So this way, customers will be very clear in the payment receipts. So we should be very clear sending out the different types of transactional emails individually. So we were discussing about majorly about the issues, like how we can calculate how our transaction emails works better or not. So in this case, I just put some quadrants here. So if everything is going at the high, we are just measuring with open rate and click rate. So how we can calculate open rate and click rate is the tools will provide the tracking results of every email. So based on that, we can track it out. And if we see, like, if both are high, open rate and click rate are high, it's very good. If the open rate is low and click rate is normal high, then the subject line is the problem. So we should be able to have a proper subject. Like, there are so many online tools, free tools and paid tools as well, to use a proper subject line. Suggestion is like, the best practices is like, we should use 3 words as a subject line and make sure it is very clear to the end user, and don't use any spammy words like offers, because these are completely transaction emails. So the subject line is very, very important. So we need to test it out with the subject line. With the subject line when when the open rate is low and click rate is high. If the open rate is high and click rate is low, we should cross verify with the body and call to action button. So we should make sure the body content is proper, and the call to action button should be very clear, so that people can click on it. So we should not have so many call to action buttons in a transaction email. We can have multiple links, but we should focus on the major important call to action button in the email template, which we are going to send out. And if both are low, like click rate and the open rate, both are low, then we should cross verify with the complete email template with the subject line, body, and call to action. And we should make sure whether the emails are going to spam or it's going to the inbox. Because if it's going to spam or if it's going to junk folders, people they were not aware of whether emails are it's sent to them customers or not. So we should always test it out, this open rate and click rate, and we should understand what is the open rate, what is the click rate. Then only we can understand whether it's the emails are going to spam or going to customers inbox or going to promotions or some other tabs. So for transactional emails, it's 100% we should maintain to make sure our emails are going into customers inbox. So this way we can able to track and see and convert our dead end transaction emails into a successful way. So, and how by visualization, maybe like once we see the email template, how we can identify whether our emails are dead emails or not. First of all, you should ask yourself as a developer, maybe you guys need to ask yourself whether is this email is sent from whom. That means if, for example, an email is sent from Grab, if an email is sent from a Grab, because in Malaysia, like Grab, you guys use everybody. So if the email is sent from Grab, if there is no proper logo or maybe name is mentioned there, or from name is not properly mentioned, you will be confused from where this email coming from. So you should make sure clearly that the brand is displayed there, like from where the email is coming and what they need to do the next step. For example, if you're sending an invoice like a receipt, so you should have a call to action button to engage it clearly, to click on the invoice and open the invoice, or maybe print the invoice, as we saw some examples. So what's the next step? So whenever you're seeing some email, just not only reading, what's the next further engagement should be there. So the opportunity, you should think like, what is the opportunity for to engage further, like going to the next, maybe redirecting to the website by clicking onto the call to action button and showcasing what's the invoice history is, like what is the payment that is credited or debited. So that's call to action is very, very important. So we should be very clear on these things. And next thing is how to increase the open rate. So we were discussing how to do the visualization, how we can identify it. And the next thing, like how to increase the open rate. Here are a few examples. So we should make sure our from name in the email is very, very important. For example, if say Grab, we should make sure Grab. If you're just saying Grab car services or travel services, people will be confused because they know only Grab. Grab is the brand name for them. So we should make sure our from name is very clear, so that people when they see, they identify it easily. And we should make sure the subject line is very clear. And there is something called intro text. We call like a preview text. So this intro text should be very clear, and it's like allowed from 40 to 140 characters. So we should make sure that is in a proper text we should include, because it should be visible in both mobile and PC. We have discussed about how to increase the open rate and how to increase the click rate. Also, we need to discuss. Based on that only, you guys can make sure your transactional emails are getting better results and reducing the dead emails. So, to increase the click rates, we should make sure our images and also like text also is available in the email template. Simply images sending is not a good practice. So we should have a medium size of image. Not a few customers will put a bigger image and make customers to scroll. So in PC it's fine to scroll, but in mobile it's difficult to scroll. People are not ready to, customers are not ready to scroll the things very long time. So we should make sure a medium image and a valid text should be inserted in the email template. And we should have a proper one call to action button, which is preferable. And if required multiple, you guys can have, but suggestion is going to have like we should have a one call to action button. And so the scrolling, the length is very, very important. So we should make sure the scrolling is less in the email because in mobile they will not scroll. If they're not scrolling down or maybe like exactly to the call to action button, they will not click. If that's not happen, the click rate will be low. So we should make sure following some best practices for increasing the click rate. So, so other things we can do, like to reduce the dead links, we should be able to test our first our email template. So once the developer completed designing the template, and once they completed sending, once they are ready to send out the email, they should make sure they're testing it. We should not assume that everything is good. Always testing is good practice. We should test our email template and whether it is good or not. So we should think like our email should look like a landing page, not simply putting like a normal plain text. So having like a good landing page is always preferable. And also we should be able to verify with the subject line, introduction text, intro text like a preview text, and styles, headings, and call to action, and call to action. We should make sure that is properly added up. And I just want to give some 10 tips to improve the deliverability, because if emails are going to spam, we should be able to sort it out there. So 10 tips to improve our deliverability. So we should use separate IP addresses for sending different types of emails. For example, if you are using same service to send out the transaction and marketing emails, you should use different IPs, because always the open rate and click rate of marketing emails will be low because Google or maybe like other service providers, they by default, their algorithms will make sure that emails are going into promotions instead of to the inbox. So, and also people never open the promotion emails. This way, the open rate, click rate, and the reputation will be low. So if you are using same IP for transactional and marketing, it may affect your transactional email services. So always try to use separate IP addresses for separate types of emails. And also you should make sure your email volume sending is consistent. We should not send like one day 1,000, second day 10, third day like 10,000 emails. So you should make sure you're consistent emails. Make sure, because always for transaction it will be like consistent. It's not like marketing where we send like one day, whenever required we will not send for marketing. So there's a difference. So but transaction, make sure you're using consistent emails. And also we should make sure we are authenticating our domain, the email, like like email website domain, whatever the business we are going to send, business domain, configuring with the third-party service provider, like configuring with SPF, DKIM, and DMARC records. And we should always do monitoring and avoid the blacklist things and all. We need to regularly check the reputation, and we need to engage the continuously monitor the engagement metrics like opens, clicks, and all the things. If you consider now marketing, you should have your own email list, and you should make sure you're double opted. You should always validate your email list and clean up the bounced email list so that your account will not be affected or your IPs will not be affected. And make sure you're sending the valuable content instead of sending the so much content and so many emails. So try to send valuable emails, valuable content, and to the valuable list, not for everybody. As I'm from HandySIMS, we are like a partners of Twilio Sendigrade. We take care of Sendigrade business in India. Why Sendigrade is like number one choice for the developers? So here, Sendigrade provides 7 languages, libraries and all, and they have RESTful APIs, like robust APIs with the 24/7 support, and they have a real-time UI with real-time delivery analytics. So you can able to see the completely in the dashboard. And if you want to track everything through your website, you have the webhook API where you can integrate it, and you can able to get each and every response from the service providers. This way you can able to track it easily when particular time the email is open and everything. You can track everything. And the emails are getting into the inbox because you can also cross-verify with the email activity feed. And you need to make sure you're having the domain authentication with the maximum deliverability. This will help you to increase the maximum deliverability. And we have the email experts to help your program to get better results. And if you are like enterprise customer, we provide role-based access, and also we have a security with our application like two-factor authentication and IP access management, which I will be showing you in our demo. And we have the full-fledged videos resources completely with a complete knowledge center. With the Google itself, with just your type, you get the things with the code samples and videos. However, I'll be providing those as well. And also like good blogs will be posting regularly through podcast and webcast, and we publish every weekly basis. So all the information will be provided in the blogs as well. So you can able to get those as well. And you can avoid the deliverability pitfalls, as we have the very good IP reputations and very good IPs. You use artificial intelligence for that, so that you can evaluate the ISP rules we evaluate, and we make sure the deliverability in a better way. And you guys can integrate the domain authentication asset. Based on that, the deliverability will be increases. So we use like powerful tools for this, all the things. And we use the monitoring tools internally to showcase a better monitoring results for your business, and also to understand the sending reputation. So how the data flow or the data flow diagram which I'm showing here. So basically the emails will be sent from different locations, maybe from different locations, and that will be hitting to our data centers, where we don't store your information. We just store the IDs based on the reference. We just store that information in the data centers, and we hit from our data centers, and the stored email IDs, whatever is there, that is going to be the request and response from the ISPs which we are storing. That will be stored for 30 days and will be removed. So if still you guys want to store it, you guys can store it through the webhooks from the endpoint you order. So from our end, we will never store that information. Once the 30 days, we will be deleting the event responses which is coming from the ISPs. So once from the data center, we just trigger to the customers ISPs like Gmail, Outlook. So emails will be sent from our data centers this way. So this is the data flow diagram which we had. So we are completely secured with SSL and with DMARC and multiple other things. Maybe I can show you that as well in the coming slides. So why people why Sendigrade is top? Like we have like 80,000 plus customer base, and we send out like 60 billion emails. So that's the reason we are like leader in cloud email. So our APIs are very easy to integrate. Within like 5 to 10 minutes, you guys can integrate easily. And we touch like around 56% of old email addresses. And we have like 100 email deliverability experts on staff as well. And we have a team who works in like M3, AEC, and ESPS. And we are also combined with Twilio, as like Sendigrade is acquired by Twilio in the last year. So we are like once we merged with Twilio, we became like a top 10 SaaS company in the world. So basically, our customers, Twilio Sendigrade is every time like daily in your inboxes every single day, because our customers like Bill Please, Exabytes, and also our customers Grab, like and bigger customers like eBay, Flipkart in India, Uber. So many bigger customers we have, Airbnb, Booking.com. So these are like standard customers which we have in Malaysia. Like, and our major difference is about the deliverability. We are very strong in the deliverability of the emails because we have a very good deliverability experts who identify it, and we have the high quality IP addresses, and we completely monitor it, and we inform the customers to do in a better way. And we are very scalable. We have startup companies, we have medium level companies, and we have enterprise customers and bigger customers who sends like millions emails of in a month. And we are expertise in support. We have 24/7 support. We have a trained, technical trained support engineers who can provide you the better services. And for the high volume customers, we have the dedicated account managers as well who provides a better service for them. And so for getting the services, you guys can directly reach out to Exabytes. So Exabytes is partnered with HandySense powered by Twilio Sendigrade to get the complete transactional and marketing emails. We just covered now transaction emails, but we provide a single platform. Exabytes provides a single platform for sending out transactional and marketing emails. And they are experts in onboard support, and they have a very preferred pricing, and they charge you locally with Malaysian ringgits. So this way, this help you to have your taxations and all the stuff. And the complete technical assistance will be provided with the best practices. And it's our services like completely 99% of uptime. And coming to the how to reach out to the things. So maybe customers, maybe existing customers of Exabytes, or some referrals, or maybe some paid through paid ads people are coming, they can directly sign up with Exabytes and log in. Maybe I can just show that right away. So in the Exabytes website, directly go to the hosting and email. You can see Exabytes transactional email services. Click on this and sign up. So once you signed up, the Exabytes customer support team will reach out to you. So you can have the Malaysian ringgits local pricing. So you just sign up for monthly or annually, whatever you prefer. So once you signed up, the Exabytes customer support will reach you and provide you the username and password. Once you get the username and password, directly log into sendigrade.com, and you can able to get the dashboard. So you just need to use app.sendigrade.com, which will be shared by Exabytes customer support in the email with the username and password. You can just log in here, and all the billing things, customer support, and any type of technical assistance will be given by the Exabytes. And if the application you can use from here. So that's the reason you can't use any account settings here. Maybe if you go to the account details, you cannot able to use invoices related section. It will show you to reach the reseller. So you cannot able to reach to the billing section. You don't have the access. So you just sign up with Exabytes and pay the things there, and get the account access, and just come to app.sendigrade.com and log in. So once log in, how to start? Maybe I will just show you the demo. So basically for the developers, so here there is called setup guide. Just go to the setup guide, and so once you set up you want to set up the things, you will get this integrate using our web API and SMTP relay, build sending user emails. And if you have any third-party application which you want to send, Drupal, Magento, and some popular applications are available here. But you can just click on start. And recommended is always web API. So you can just select the web API. You have 7 different languages. Everything will be given here, which is very easy to integrate. So you have nodes, so 8 languages you can see here. So if you want to go with the C sharp, for example, just select choose, and it will request you to create the API key. So make sure you are having a library requires. So in your C sharp, you need to integrate this library. You need to add this .NET version, create the API key, and set up the have the packages and have the sample code. You just add into the website, and it then verify the integration. So it's a very simple step. Whatever the languages you have, whatever the languages you want to integrate, you have the things here to show. So different languages you can see, and if you have any doubts, you have the API documentation as well to see. And we have in the GitHub also, you can see use cases and also the sample code. So you can get into that as well. Apart from that, the major thing in the integration step, statistics, because this is very, very important, where we should be able to track to reduce our dead open links as a better results. So here we have different type of statistics based on categories, and also with geographically, and different type of browsers. So different types of statistics we have. So we can use that statistics, and we can check it out. So if you go to the browser stats, we have the things here to see which type of browsers people are using. So we don't have this here currently. So whatever the browser you can select, you can able to see the clicks and unique clicks, whatever the results is there. So, and also like in the code, you can integrate with categories, and you can able to see the statistics based on the category. So you can add the categories in the code. Maybe I will show you the document. So maybe in the request body, you have different types of ways you can just send it out. So you can pass the required things here. There is a API request. So what personalization, like from name, from to email ID, and all is required. Whatever is required, you can pass here, from to CC, and this. See, there are so many. Whatever the optional you want, you can pass it. So basically, categories will be in the optional field, custom marks, and so you can see here required and optional. Based on that, you can put together. You have the categories which is optional. So if you want that, you can just pass some categories, and based on the categories, you can able to track that here. So whatever the things you created, that will be coming here. Based on that, you can track it out. And you have the feed, activity feed. You can track it here, all the email activity feed, whether emails are open, clicks, and everything you can see here. So there are all types of filters: clicks, opens, unsubscribes, blocks, bounces. So based on this, you can try to track the emails. And the important thing is suppressions. So in these suppressions, whatever the email should not be sent out to the end users. Maybe like if the email ID is bounced, if the customer selected unsubscribe, and whatever maybe it's happened, that all the emails will be in these particular suppressions. So for these emails, as a best practice, Sendigrade will be stopping to send emails which are available in this particular emails. So if any email IDs are available in the unsubscriptions or maybe bounces, emails will not be triggered from the Sendigrade application. By default, we'll be restricting them. So we can see the why it is bounced, the complete reason we can able to see here. So the important thing is like API keys. So API keys. So what they are, so as we need to see like how to create the API keys. So create the API key and give some name, and give the access. So you have multiple types of access. If you want to give only billing access, restricted access, or like full access, you can able to give here. So you have the options. If you want to give to the mail send, so give the full access. and you can create it. Once you create it, you can take this API key, because this will be removed later, so you need to save it in your local machine. Once apart from this is the security wise, we have two-factor authentication. So you need to set up your two-factor authentication. Here, this is very important. Now, Centigrade is making this as a mandatory until like by January 10th. We should make sure we are setting up this two-factor authentication to make your account much more secure. It's like a mandatory setup. And also we should have there is an option called teammates. If you have multiple team members working on the same things, you can create multiple teammates with the access. You can give admin access, you can give read-only access, restrict access, or different type of access. You can create multiple access within your business, within your company. And to make your much more security, there is called IP access management. If you want to allow your Centigrade account to be used only that particular IP, you can add the IP as a, I can whitelist the IP. Then whatever the IP is added, that IPs only will be shown, and that IPs only will be allowed to send the emails or maybe to access the complete account. And for getting like alert messages, whether you reach the limit, so you have two types of alert messages: email credit usage and getting the statistics. So if you want to get the statistics frequently, daily, weekly, or monthly, you can select it, and whosoever the email you want to receive that statistics, you can set up that email ID and you get the notification based on the selection with the complete statistics: how many emails sent, how many opens, how many clicked. So you don't have to go and get into the reports daily basis. You can get an email as a report. And for deliverability, there is an option called sender authentication. We should make sure we should authenticate our sender, like we should authenticate our domain by having authenticate your domain, and we need to select where our domain is hosted. So we should make sure selecting that particular domain and add the records. For example, if my domain is hosted in Alibaba or exabytes, so whatever it might be, you just need to give the domain name and click on next. You get some DNS records. You get some DNS records. You need to copy those DNS records and you need to paste it. For everything, you have the documentation. How to do this, if you don't know, you can have the clear documentation. You can use that and you can just authenticate the domain as well. So this way you can able to complete sending the things, focusing on the notifications wise, and focusing on how to sign up, how to set up the complete domain authentication, how to send out the transaction emails with different coding languages, and having as a security wise IP access management and two-factor authentication are very important to make sure your security wise. And if you want to see some much more security documents, maybe this all will be shared in this presentation when we share it out. So once you log in only, you can able to see this. So you have the complete documentations here to download. International data flow diagram, which I showed already. Centigrade FAQs. So some GDPR data security. The email pipeline diagram, which we already showed you. How the email flow works. This we already showed you. And much more about the security things. You can see the policies, security things, and all disaster recovery. If anything is disaster happen, how we recover the things, how the plan and everything. So it's a huge documentation. We cannot go through this now, but you can see this the complete information. As I showed you this international data flow diagram, where if anything is going wrong, we have from other data centers, we can get it from the disaster and we can give back to the customers. So everything is with the very security we are maintaining. So the complete information is in the docs. So if anything required as well, you guys can reach out to the chart support team, and we are happy to assist you on those things as well in the coming days. So overall, like as I showed you, like after the sign up, how you can reach out to Syndicate, how you can sign up, how you can start using Syndicate services once you signed up with Exabytes. So we mentioned some documents as well with the developer resources, with every programming languages, with the open source libraries and web APIs and some other SMTP. In the presentation, you can get this, and domain authentication, reverse DNS, and how to warm up the IPs, and very important information we added already, and some video tutorials, as it's like how to easily integrate with different programming languages. These are all like video tutorials, which is very useful for you guys if you want to integrate it. So we mentioned all the video tutorials. So that's it from my end. Over to you guys. So let me start answering the questions.
Yeah, there's a few questions over here. So the first question from Chris. What is SPF, DKIM, and DMARC for authenticating the email address? So maybe you can explain in layman terms so that Chris can understand about it.
So, sure. So regards to the SPF, DKIM, and DMARC, these are like records which will be provided to from the domain specific, the configuration things, which we are configuring the domain with the email service provider, like a Syndicate or maybe like some cloud-based email service provider. Once we authenticate that, we are telling that the emails are coming from not from backend with Syndicate. It's like handshake things which is happening between the email service provider and with the domain. This way we showcase that the authentication is done with the website, like a domain user, so that the spamming and hacking things and all will not be happen to the email infrastructure. So maybe I will just show you that as well. So there is a clear documentation. You can go through that very clearly with the SPF and DKIM, what exactly it's trying to help you out. So we have the blog which you can go through it in detail, but this helps like to make you much more secure and not to have any spamming effects, spoofing attacks and all. So we should authenticate this to make sure emails are coming not from Syndicate, from your particular website. So because we should showcase, if, for example, a Grab is sending an email, they configured Syndicate and they did not do the domain authentication. What happens is emails will be coming from Syndicate and not from the Grab. This confuses the end user. If you're doing this particular SPF and DKIM and DMARC, for the end user, it shows like the emails are coming from Grab.
All right, Ms. Mahou, would you convenient to actually copy and paste the link into the chat box so that they can actually easily access it?
So image is not automatically load when customer open the image. Paste text in within images. Or will this work? As this works, you need to put the alt image for every images when you are using, and you should make sure the proper PNG, like PNG image, JPEG or PNG you are using, instead of like some other formats. So there are some code best standards. Maybe I can show you that as well. And you should make sure your email image is like less than 100 KB. So people use more size to send out the emails. So there are some coding best standards, editor best standards you can see here. So while you're sending out the emails, you should make sure following the best practices. So this problem will be sorted out. And you should make sure you are using alt image instead of with the image. So this helps image to show there. Along with that, few customers, what they do is like they block the images in their inbox, not to roll. So on the time it showcased that download the images. So this way, this is something which should be sorted out from the customers as well. So from our end, we should make sure we are using alt and the better quality image, not the high resolution, which is very high. If that is the case, it's very difficult to load.
All right. So yeah, let's move on to a second questions. Usually, image is not automatically loaded when customer open the email. If the text is placed within the images, will this works?
Yes, this works. As I said, images, they should add the alt text and they should have the better quality image and also not the high resolution. It should be less than 100 KB. So this will be working.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mahu. So, next question from Jian is: some of the platform does not allow opt-out for transactional email. Is this true?
Exactly. So for transaction email, we should not use opt-out functionality because transactional emails are very, very important. So we should not use the opt-out functionality for transaction. If you guys using same services for transactional and marketing, people may unsubscribe for marketing. And what happens is like transaction emails also will not work out. So we should make sure we use different accounts, maybe if the same service provider also different accounts, or maybe use groups for unsubscriptions. So to answer this question, for transaction emails, we should not use opt-out. If people are unwantedly clicking opt-out, they will not get the important information. So we should not use the opt-out.
All right, thank you. So, next also from Chris, he's asking about what does API stand for and what is it?
So API is like application programming interface. So to integrate with two different applications, you will be using these APIs. So I think the developers, I think it will be very easy for them to understand what exactly the API is, and it is useful. So I hope you can just Google it out as well. It's very simple thing.
Yep. All right. Next is from Wing Ong. I don't have a developer team. My IT person is just a maintenance guy. Is this platform suitable if I want to send out monthly newsletter to my customers?
Yes, this works. If you want to send some newsletters, you can send it out. Just upload there is a marketing option. So newsletters is something where you can send it out easily by uploading the email list and design the template and just send it out. So this is very easy. But if it's something need to be triggered from the website automatically, this should be integrated. The API should be integrated to the website, and the transaction email should send. So I hope the maintenance guy should reach out to the developer team to fix this particular problem. If it's like just newsletters or maybe some promotional emails, he can do it easily. So there are a few videos how to send out the bulk emails or marketing emails or newsletters to the customers. There is a videos and also documentation available, or you can reach out to the support team. They can guide you. It will be easy to send it out.
All right. So next question from Mark is, the first question is, do we need to warm up a new sending email address?
Yes, we need to warm up the new sending email address because the email address, it's not about the email address, it's based on the domain. So whenever you're using the domain and it's like a new domain and new email address, you should warm up because it's it's a cold email address. So it's considered as a cold email address. We need to warm up it and make it like a hot. Then only the inbox service providers like Gmail, Yahoo, or Office 365 emails, Microsoft emails, they understand that emails are triggering from this particular domain or particular email address and increase the reputation of that. So the warm up should be in a slowly ramping up, right? It should not be at one shot sending out the huge amount of emails. So in an incremental way, we should be sending the emails. So to answer that question, yes, the new sending email address or like new domain, we should do the initial warm up because it's a cold one.
Okay, so the second question from Mark will be, is it advisable to include GIF images in an email?
Of course, you can use GIF images, but advisable is like let's go with a JPEG or something. But if still you can use the images, but you need to test it out with the email testing platforms are there. So there is called Spam Tester. So always the testing is very important because the image which you guys are using may be high volume, high size maybe. So we need to cross verify. There is called let me check. Test spam test because that should not affect our email reputation. So there is a tools. This is a free service, free tool. So mail-tester.com. We can send out a test email to this and then check the score. If the score is good, that means the complete email template is good. So you can also find out the errors if you are facing, if If you have any errors with the particular images, you can sort it out. So normally having a GIF images, which is okay, but high size images is a bit difficult. So we need to always check the complete template. Based on that, we can sort it out.
All right. So with that, I think we can wrap things up because there's no more questions at the moment. So do you have anything to add on? For this transactional email or any advice for those who want to get started?
Yeah, so as I told, the Sendigrade services is a top number one developer tool for sending out the transaction emails or notification emails, like alert emails to the business customers from your business. So my suggestion, just go to Sendigrade, just use Exabyte's transaction email services, sign up with them, and Exabyte support team will reach out to you with username and password, log in and try to test it out the services. Once you're comfortable, you can start you can start using for your production environment, and you can see the better results out of it. And as I told you, if you want to have a single platform, and this is the better service where you can send transaction and marketing, as you have a sub-user management system where you can use 2 accounts in the same account, so that this will be helping you to send out the emails. So you can test it out and see better results from the Sendigrade transactional services. And as I showed you, like the dead emails testing out. So you need to always test the emails when you're sending. Don't assume that everything is going good. Test it out. Always check your open rates, click rates, and see how many people are unsubscribing. What is the output? Based on that, you can do the modifications. If you guys are not testing out, you never understand whether emails are going to spam or how many people are opening your email. What is the revenue you're getting? You cannot able to track it out. So I suggest always send out the emails and track the emails.